Good afternoon,
Good afternoon, everyone.
and welcome. This is the session called Grow Your Business Beyond Borders. We're so excited to have you all today. Thank you. We're here to talk about how Google can partner with all of you and your businesses to help build and determine your international strategy.
My name is Alicia Sanchez, and I'm a head of industry on the international growth team here at Google. I'm a proud Googler of 8 years and have expertise in international expansion and digital measurement strategies.
And my name's Kevin Perry. I've been at Google for 5 years, and I'm currently a global solutions lead on the Americas International Growth team. But I spent a lot of my years at Google working in payment operations, helping Google scale our payment operations, meaning that consumers could buy our Google products and services in any country that they want and any currency that they want. And I now take that expertise and help use it for Google or for other businesses to help actually address their operational challenges as they're growing at scale.
So we thought we'd start with a little bit of a quiz to make sure everyone's awake. We know it's the afternoon and it's almost tea time. So what nation consumes the most tea per capita in the world? Any guesses?
Yell it
UK?
out. I heard
China?
China, Japan.
Turkey? Ding, ding, ding. You are correct. It's actually Turkey. So a lot of these countries that you've named definitely come up in the top list. But if you were looking to expand and take a product related to tea international, you might want to consider Turkey as well.
And our second question today, which nation has the highest percentage of consumers, internet-enabled consumers, making mobile purchases? Nigeria, Korea, Denmark, the United States? I heard some Nigeria, some Korea. So the answer is actually Denmark. And again, in the top 10, you'll see a lot of countries across Southeast Asia and Africa, countries that you would expect. But in terms of the internet users making mobile purchases, Denmark has the highest percentage. And we share these quizzes because we want everybody to realize and start from a place where the perceptions you have about what international markets look like may not be right, and that finding the data can be really important to determining your strategy.
And so in that vein, we wanted to understand how best we could help customers with an international ambition. And so we did a little bit of research. We looked at 12 different markets and had 500 different respondents and found 2 key eye-opening insights. And the first of which is that 60% of businesses find market insights to be the very first step in their international expansion, and something that they just don't have access to.
And the second is that over 80% of businesses are either not expanding or are slowing their expansion to new markets because of operational barriers that they experience as they're growing. And so that's something that's not strange to us here at Google either. As I mentioned, that was part of my job originally. And at Google, we have teams and expertise in all of these different operational areas out there developing best practices and solving those challenges for Google as well.
And at Google, we design products and solutions with a global lens. Remember that you're here at Google Marketing Live, and you're going to hear about a lot of products and solutions that can help you reach your customers internationally. And we're going to talk a little bit about a solution that we've developed as part of the international growth team to bring some of this expertise that Kevin was talking about, and as well as some data and insights from our own research that we've done for go-to-market strategies for Google products. And so to successfully grow your business beyond borders, my team of international growth consultants and I typically talk to customers about 3 key pillars. The first is to identify the top markets and find insights on those markets. Then you'll need to plan your operations, and finally create a localized marketing strategy.
And that's where Market Finder comes in. We've done a lot of heavy lifting for you with this tool, Market Finder, which you can find at g.co/marketfinder. It follows that same framework of prioritizing markets, planning operations, and then developing your international marketing strategy. And it includes a lot of insights, both from Google experts and third-party resources, all together right at your fingertips. Once you've kind of prioritized markets and planned your operations, it also now includes new features that we want to talk about this year, including app-specific data and ability to actually introduce you in a referral program to third-party vendors who can help you scale your operations.
And so let's look at a short video.
Thinking about expanding your business abroad? Google's free Market Finder tool can help you get going. Just start by telling us a bit about your business, and we'll recommend the most valuable export markets for you based on your goals. You'll also discover key insights about each one, like how much people earn on average, how often they go online, or even how many monthly searches there are for your product or service. Plus, you can get advice from real experts on everything from taking payments and localizing your marketing to hiring the right people and navigating tax and legal laws. Market Finder can also help you create a global marketing strategy. For example, with tips on how to take your website global, helping international customers find you online, and measuring your success. Find new customers abroad and take your business further with Market Finder.
And so the first question that businesses really ask us is, where is there opportunity for my business? And how do I prioritize these markets? And then once you have answers to that, you'll want to understand what the consumer behavior and expectations are in that market to make sure that you're talking to the consumers in a way that really resonates with them. And so at Google, we love data. And so Market Finder actually places both Google data as well as third-party resources right at your fingertips. That way you can get recommendations specific to your business. In fact, Market Finder uses an automated analysis based off of your website content to come up with a tailored list of insights where consumers are searching for your product or service. It uses signals in over 3,000 different business categories to surface these top markets. And once you have a short list, say of like maybe 3 different markets across a couple of different regions that you're looking at, you'll want to deep dive into those markets. And Market Finder, again, has over 40 different metrics across different categories, such as the macroeconomic, some of the search and advertising information, and as we mentioned, there's now app information as well in that section. And then also purchase behavior and how consumers are actually purchasing online and offline. And one of my favorite metrics that's also on here is the ease of doing business ranking, which can help you understand how easy or difficult it is to actually launch your operations.
And as I mentioned, that's something that we've worked on a lot here at Google as well. And I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the operational specific data that's there for you in Market Finder. The first thing that we'll talk about is how it's laid out overall. So when you navigate to the plan your operations section, this is the site that you'll see here. It's broken out by different operational areas. So as the video talked about, you've got localization, payments, customer care. You've also got recruitment, tax and legal, and international logistics. And within each of those sites, you'll find multiple resources, general guides about tips for setting up your business, but also country-specific guides as well.
And if I can jump in here, Kevin, if you actually solve for some of these payment issues and actually localize your site, you'll see a conversion increase and much higher conversion rates.
Yeah, there is a true drive for your business here, and that's why we focus on operations as much as on market prioritization. So the country guides that I mentioned, we've really launched a lot of new country guides over the past year. You'll find over 30 different guides with industry-specific information and country-specific information across both localization and logistics. The guides have a lot of information, including what you'll see here, including languages spoken, the numerical formats, but also things to avoid and some interesting insights. For instance, in the Brazil logistics country guide, you can see the average cost of shipping in Brazil. In the Japan localization guide, you learn that you should never put the user's name in a red font because it can have negative connotations. And in the Mexico localization, you can learn about the different forms or formality of tone that you should use when talking to your consumer. For most products, you should use a very informal tone if you're talking to them, and use the informal version of you or tu.
You mean me?
Exactly. But if I were talking to Alicia about something in financial services or a legal product, anything having to do with money, I'd want to use the more formal tone of you or usted. After these country guides, I want to spend a bit of time talking about payments as well. As I mentioned, it's the team that I came from. We have many Googlers making sure that Google can process multiple transactions, many transactions in different currencies, in different countries for all of Google's products and services. On this site specifically, you'll find a lot of information about the different forms of payment and what consumers prefer in different markets. Not everybody uses a credit card. Many people use bank transfers and other forms of payment to buy their products. And over the last year, we've launched a new interactive feature in our payment section where you can actually look up consumers' form of payment preferences by market. You can choose your markets here. You'll see France and Germany up on the screen, and actually see how many users in those countries are using different forms of payment. If I'm, say, interested in bank transfers and credit cards, I can choose those two and then be taken to a list of payment providers, third-party vendors, who can actually give me the capability to process those forms of payment on my website. And then also right there in the tool, I can be introduced to these providers, and they'll get all of my contact information and reach back out to me to discuss kind of setting up my business with those capabilities. And of course, on Market Finder, we want to highlight your successes. Along with all of these country guides and the interactive features, you'll see case studies featuring different businesses tackling different challenges. There's everything nuanced from, say, a vendor who wants to run an RFP or request for a proposal, and a list of questions that they use to test new vendors, to, say, an app who's trying to localize their content through translation services in Google Play. And who knows, maybe next year, one of you will be up on this stage with us talking about how Google and Market Finder have helped you grow your business.
And the last thing we want to highlight, though we won't spend too much time on it here since you're hearing about all these products and services in other sessions, but it's definitely how to develop your international marketing strategy. And Market Finder can help you as well. Once you have that short list, you can start thinking about how you're actually going to approach media in those markets. Everything from search and display and video through to how to create your KPIs and set up your measurement strategies. And as we mentioned, there's now information that's specific to app developers on there as well. And remember that you're not alone. Work with your Google account team as well as your agency to help you through each of these different phases of the journey. They can really help you understand exactly what it takes to launch an international campaign across many different geos and languages. And remember that everything that you hear about here at Google Marketing Live, you can actually think about as you plan your internationalization. So we want to thank you for spending a little